Dad, you're embarrassing me.
Jennifer's voice cut through the church foyer. Not quiet, not private. Loud enough that 3 bridesmaids turned to look. I was holding a gift. Small box wrapped in silver paper. She didn't even glance at it. You weren't supposed to come until the reception. Her fiancé, Brad, stood behind her, checking his phone. The minister was greeting guests 20 feet away. Same minister who'd buried my wife Martha 2 years ago at this exact church. He hadn't seen me yet. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I'd driven 4 hours for this. Left at 5 in the morning because Jennifer had texted that the wedding started at 2. Got there at noon. Early, sure. But I'd wanted to help if she needed anything. That's what fathers do. The invitation said 2 o'clock, I said. That's for guests, Dad. Family was supposed to come at 1:30 for photos. You missed them. She glanced at her watch. Diamond-studded. I'd helped pay for that. We're about to start the ceremony. Just go sit down. Somewhere in the back. The bridesmaids were still watching. One of them whispered something to another. They both looked at me. I'm 72 years old. Wore my good suit. Dark blue. The one Martha had picked out for our 50th anniversary 3 months before the cancer took her. Shined my shoes that morning. Even put on cologne. Old Spice. Same kind I'd worn to Jennifer's high school graduation, her college graduation, every important day of her life. I didn't know about 1:30, I said. Your text just said, Dad. She closed her eyes, took a breath like she was counting to 10. Can you please not make this about you? This is my wedding day. Brad finally looked up from his phone. Hey, Jim. Not warm, just acknowledging I existed. He worked in finance, made good money. I knew because Jennifer had told me his salary during one of our monthly calls, the ones that had gotten shorter after Martha died, down from an hour to about 15 minutes, mostly her talking about wedding plans while I listened. I brought you something, I said. Held up the gift. Jennifer took it, didn't open it, just tucked it under her arm like it was a coat she'd carry to the car later. Thanks. We'll open gifts at the reception. You should go find a seat. Sweetie, I thought maybe I could. Dad, they're about to play the processional music. Please. She turned to Brad. Can you make sure the groomsmen are ready? Brad nodded, walked off, didn't say goodbye to me. Jennifer looked at me one more time. Back row, Dad. Don't sit up front. Those seats are for Brad's family and our wedding party. Then she left. Went back into the bridal room. The door closed with a soft click. I stood there holding nothing. The gift was gone. My daughter was gone. The bridesmaids had turned away, already whispering about something else. Same church where I'd walked Jennifer down the aisle for her confirmation. Same church where Martha and I had renewed our vows for our 25th anniversary. Same pews where we'd sat every Sunday for 32 years before Martha got too sick to leave the house. I found a seat in the back row, far right side, behind a pillar that partially blocked the view of the altar. The program said the ceremony would start at 2. It was 12:40. I sat there for an hour and 20 minutes watching guests file in. They took the middle pews, the front pews. Nobody sat near me. At 1:50, the minister walked to the front. Reverend Hayes, 78 years old, been at this church for 40 years. He scanned the crowd, probably doing that thing ministers do before weddings, counting heads and looking for family members. His eyes found me. I saw the recognition, saw him smile. Small, but real. He nodded. Then Jennifer appeared at the back of the church. The music started. Everyone stood. She looked beautiful. White dress, long train. Hair up the way Martha had worn hers at our wedding. She was holding the arm of Brad's father. Not mine. Brad's father, who I'd met exactly once at the engagement party 8 months ago. Tall guy, loud laugh. Owned a car dealership. I realized then that Jennifer hadn't asked me to walk her down the aisle. She hadn't told me I wouldn't be walking her down the aisle. She'd just given the job to someone else and forgotten to mention it. My hands were shaking. I gripped the pew in front of me. Oak wood, same wood that had been here since the church was built in 1967. I'd helped refinish these pews during a renovation in 1994. Spent 3 Saturdays sanding and staining while Martha brought lemonade for the volunteers. The ceremony started. I don't remember most of it. Just Reverend Hayes talking about love and commitment, about family, about how marriage is built on sacrifice and showing up for each other. I thought about the $73,000 I'd given Jennifer over the last 5 years. Wasn't supposed to be thinking about that. Not at her wedding, but my brain went there anyway. Because that's what happens when you're sitting alone behind a pillar watching your only child get married while holding the arm of someone else's father. $73,000. The down payment on her house, $32,000. She'd called on a Tuesday, said she and Brad had found the perfect place, but were $5,000 short on the down payment. Could I help? Just $5,000. I'd sent $8,000 because I wanted her to have a cushion for closing costs. Then it was furniture. The house was empty. They needed basics. Could I help with a couch? I'd sent $4,000. She'd sent me a photo of a living room set that looked like it cost twice that. Then the car. Her Honda had died. Transmission. Not worth fixing. She needed reliable transportation for work. Could I loan her $15,000? She'd pay me back. I'd sent $18,000 so she could get something safe, something new, with a warranty. I never asked for the money back. She never offered. Then there were the monthly things. Groceries when money was tight. Vet bills when their dog got sick. The time their water heater broke. The time Brad's hours got cut at work and they couldn't make the mortgage. That was 6 months of payments. $4,200 total. I'd kept a spreadsheet. Not because I was planning to collect, just because I'm old and that's what old people do. We track things. We write things down. We remember. $73,000 in 5 years, not counting the smaller stuff. The birthday checks, the Christmas money, the gas cards, the gift certificates to restaurants because Jennifer mentioned she and Brad never got to go out anymore, not counting the time. The weekends I'd driven 4 hours to watch their dog when they went on vacation. The afternoons I'd spent fixing their fence, installing shelves, painting their guest room. The phone calls where Jennifer cried about work stress and I listened for an hour, then 2 hours, then however long she needed, not counting the last 2 years. After Martha died, when I'd needed someone to listen to me, when I'd called Jennifer crying at 2 in the morning because I couldn't sleep in our bed anymore, when I'd asked if maybe I could visit for a few days because the house felt too empty. She'd said it wasn't a good time. Work was busy. Brad was stressed. Maybe in a few months. That was 18 months ago. I'd visited 3 times since Martha's funeral. Once for Jennifer's birthday last June. I'd stayed for dinner. Left at 8 because Brad had an early meeting. Once for Thanksgiving. I'd brought 2 pies. Left at 6 because they had friends coming over later and needed to clean up. Once for Christmas. I'd brought gifts. Left at noon because they were driving to Brad's parents' house for the real celebration. 4 hours each way. 12 hours of driving for maybe 10 hours of visits total. They'd never come to see me. Not once. The house where Jennifer grew up. Where her mother died in the bedroom we'd shared for 43 years. Where her baby photos were still on the mantle and her high school art projects were still in the attic. Too far, she'd said. Brad's work schedule. Maybe in the spring. The ceremony ended. Everyone clapped. Jennifer and Brad kissed. They walked down the aisle holding hands, both of them beaming. Jennifer's eyes passed right over me. Didn't even pause. The guests filed out. I waited until everyone had left. Didn't want to crowd the aisle. Didn't want to be in anyone's photos. Reverend Hayes was at the altar talking to the wedding coordinator. I walked down. Slow. My knee hurts when I walk fast. Arthritis. Same knee I'd blown out working construction in 1983 and never got properly fixed because we were saving money for Jennifer's college fund. Jim, Reverend Hayes smiled, shook my hand. Wonderful to see you. Beautiful ceremony. It was, I said. How are you holding up? I know Martha's absence must be felt today. I'm managing. He nodded, squeezed my shoulder. Jennifer looks so much like her mother. Same smile. She does. I remember when you and Martha brought her here as a baby, baptized her right there. He pointed to the baptismal font. You and Martha were so proud, couldn't stop smiling. I felt something crack in my chest, small, like ice breaking. I remember, I said. You're a good father, Jim. I've watched you with Jennifer over the years. The way you showed up, always there. He paused. That doesn't go unnoticed, by God or by anyone paying attention. I didn't trust my voice, just nodded. Are you heading to the reception? He asked. I think so. It's at a hotel downtown. Starts at 5. I'll see you there then. He smiled again. Save me a seat at your table. I walked out to my car. Sat there for a while. The church parking lot was empty now. Everyone had gone to take photos at some park Jennifer had mentioned during one of our calls. The wedding party. Close family. Brad's parents. Not me. I started the car. Drove to the hotel. Got there at 4:30. The ballroom wasn't open yet. I sat in the lobby reading a newspaper someone had left on a coffee table. At 5, the doors opened. I walked in. Round tables with white tablecloths. Centerpieces with roses. A head table at the front where Jennifer and Brad would sit with their wedding party. I looked for my name. Table assignments were on a board near the entrance. Cards with names and table numbers. Found it. Table 12, back corner, near the kitchen doors. Walked over. 7 other people were already there. I didn't recognize any of them. Introduced myself. They nodded politely. Went back to their conversations. Turned out they were Brad's co-workers, from his office. We had nothing to talk about. Reverend Hayes never showed up. Found out later he'd been seated at table 3, near the front, with Brad's extended family. Dinner was served. Chicken or fish. I had the chicken. It was fine. The people at my table mostly ignored me. One woman asked how I knew the couple. I said I was Jennifer's father. She said, "Oh, how nice," then turned to talk to someone else. The speeches started. Brad's father went first. Talked about how proud he was, how Brad had always been a go-getter, how he'd known Brad would find someone special. He made a joke about how Brad's mother had cried when she first met Jennifer because she was so perfect. Everyone laughed. Then Jennifer's maid of honor, her college roommate, talked about late-night study sessions and road trips and inside jokes I didn't understand. Talked about how Jennifer had called her crying happy the night Brad proposed, how she'd never seen Jennifer so in love. Then Brad stood up, thanked everyone for coming, thanked his parents for their support, thanked Jennifer for saying yes, raised his glass. Nobody mentioned me. Nobody mentioned Martha. I sat there holding my water glass. Ice had melted. Water was room temperature. The dancing started. Father-daughter dance. I stood up, started walking toward the dance floor. Jennifer was already dancing with Brad's father. I stopped. Middle of the ballroom. People were watching. I could feel their eyes. She was laughing. Brad's father was twirling her. The song was Butterfly Kisses. Same song I'd told Jennifer I wanted to dance to with her. Same song that had played at her 8th grade graduation when she'd won an award and I'd been so proud I'd cried in the parking lot afterward. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Felt like an hour. Then I turned around, walked back to my table, sat down. The woman next to me was looking at her phone. Didn't notice I'd left or come back. The song ended. Everyone clapped. Jennifer hugged Brad's father, kissed his cheek. He said something that made her laugh. I needed air, walked out to the hallway, found a bench near the restrooms, sat down. My chest hurt. Not a heart attack, just the kind of hurt that doesn't have a medical name. That's when it hit me. Really hit me. I'd become a checkbook, not a father, not family, just a source of money that occasionally got invited to things when it was convenient. I thought about Martha's funeral. Jennifer had cried. She'd given a eulogy, talked about what a wonderful mother Martha had been, how Martha had always supported her, always believed in her. Then 2 weeks later, Jennifer had called, said she was struggling with the mortgage again. Could I help? I'd sent $3,000. She'd texted back, "Thanks, Dad. You're a lifesaver." That was 4 months ago. Last time we'd talked before the wedding invitation came in the mail. Not a phone call, not a personal delivery, an invitation in the mail. Formal, like I was a distant relative she was obligated to invite. I sat on that bench for 20 minutes, maybe longer. Lost track. When I walked back into the ballroom, the dancing was still going. Jennifer was dancing with Brad. They looked happy, really happy. I watched for a minute, then I left. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't find Jennifer to hug her. Just walked out to my car. Drove back home. 4 hours in the dark. Got home at midnight. The house was quiet. Same quiet it had been for 2 years, since Martha died. I made coffee. Sat at the kitchen table. Same table where Martha and I had our morning coffee for 40 years. Where Jennifer had done her homework. Where we'd celebrated birthdays and anniversaries and tax returns and every small good thing that makes a life. I opened my laptop, pulled up the spreadsheet. $73,000. I added a line. Wedding gift. The box I'd brought had contained a check for $5,000. I'd written it 3 days ago. For their honeymoon, the card had said, "For your future together." $78,000. Total. I sat there staring at the numbers until my coffee went cold. Then I opened a new document, started typing. At 6 in the morning, I printed everything out, put it in a folder. At 9, I called my lawyer, George Patterson. We'd gone to high school together. He'd handled Martha's will, my will, all the paperwork when we'd refinanced the house in 2003. "George, I need to make some changes. Can I come in today?" "Sure, Jim. Everything okay?" "It will be." I drove to his office, brought the folder. George read through everything. Took him 45 minutes. He didn't say anything at first, just read. Then he looked up at me. "You're sure about this?" "I'm sure. This is significant, Jim. Maybe give it a few days. Make sure you're not—" "I'm not angry, George. I'm clear. Maybe for the first time in 5 years." He nodded slowly. "Okay, let's get started." We spent 3 hours going through paperwork, signing things, updating things, making new arrangements. When I left, it was done. I drove home, made lunch, took a nap, woke up at 4. My phone had 17 missed calls, all from Jennifer. There were texts, too. "Dad, call me." "Dad, where are you?" "Dad, my bank transfer got declined." "Did you do something to your account?" "Dad, this isn't funny. I need that mortgage payment. It's due tomorrow." "Dad, call me." I made dinner. Spaghetti. Same recipe Martha used to make. Ate slowly, washed the dishes, dried them, put them away. At 7, my phone rang again. "Jennifer," I answered. "Dad, what the hell is going on? I've been trying to reach you all day." "I was busy," I said. "Busy? Dad, my mortgage payment got declined. The automatic transfer from your account. Did you close it or something?" "I made some changes," I said. Silence. Then, "What kind of changes?" "I consolidated my accounts, updated my financial arrangements." "Dad, I need that mortgage payment. It's due tomorrow. Can you send it through a different account?" "No," I said. More silence. Longer this time. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean I'm not sending it." "Dad, this isn't funny. Brad and I are just back from our honeymoon. We have bills. You know we're counting on—" "I'm not sending money anymore, Jennifer." I heard her breath catch. "Are you seriously doing this because of the wedding? Because I asked you to sit in the back?" "This isn't about the wedding." "Then what? What did I do? I've been trying to be patient with you, Dad. I know you're lonely since Mom died. I know you're struggling, but you can't just cut me off because I'm not visiting enough or whatever you're upset about." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "That's what you think this is?" "What else would it be? You show up early to my wedding, make it awkward, and now you're punishing me by withholding money? That's emotional manipulation, Dad." I was quiet for a long time. She was quiet too, waiting. "I gave you $78,000 in 2 years," I said. "Did you know that?" What?" $78,000. I have a spreadsheet. Down payment on your house, furniture, car, monthly mortgage help, vet bills, repairs, emergency money, wedding gift, $78,000. Dad, I didn't ask you to keep track. You visited me 3 times in 2 years after your mother died. 3 times, 4 hours total. She didn't say anything. You called when you needed money, or when something broke, or when you couldn't make a payment. But you didn't call on my birthday last year, or the anniversary of your mother's death, or Christmas morning. Dad, I've been busy. Brad and I both work full-time. We have a house to take care of, bills to... You had time to plan a wedding, I said. Time to take a honeymoon. Time to go to Brad's parents' house for holidays. But not time to visit your father. Not time to ask how I was doing. Not time to sit with me in the house where your mother died. That's not fair. You're making me sound like a terrible daughter. I'm not making you anything. I'm just saying what happened. So what? You're cutting me off? Just like that? Because I'm not the perfect daughter? I'm not cutting you off. I'm stopping the monthly payments, that's all. That's all. Dad, we budget based on your help. You know that. We've been counting on... Then I suggest you adjust your budget. Her voice went sharp. Are you having some kind of breakdown? Is this about Mom? Do you need to talk to someone? I'm fine, Jennifer. You're not fine. You're acting irrational. You're punishing me because you're lonely and you're taking it out on me. I need to go, I said. Dad, wait. Don't hang up. Let's talk about this. Maybe you're right. Maybe I haven't been visiting enough. Maybe I've been taking you for granted, but you can't just... Goodbye, Jennifer. I hung up. She called back immediately. I didn't answer. She called 17 more times that night. I turned off my phone. The next morning, there was a text from Brad. Jim, this is Brad. Jennifer is really upset. I think you're overreacting about the wedding. She didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Can we talk this through like adults? I didn't respond. Another text an hour later. Jim, we really need that mortgage payment. Can you at least send this month's and then we can discuss the rest? I blocked his number. Jennifer showed up at my house 3 days later. I was in the garage, working on an old chair Martha had loved, refinishing it. I heard her car pull up, heard the door slam. She knocked. I opened the door 6 inches. Dad, Jennifer, we need to talk. I'm busy. Dad, please. I drove 4 hours. Just let me come in. I opened the door wider. She walked past me into the kitchen, looked around like she was inventorying the place. Coffee? I asked. No. I need to understand what's happening. I poured myself a cup, sat down at the table. She remained, standing. You're cutting me off, she said. Completely. No explanation, no discussion, just done. I explained on the phone. You gave me a guilt trip about not visiting enough. That's not an explanation. That's you being hurt and lashing out. I'm not lashing out. I'm making a decision about my own money. It's not just your money, Dad. You've been helping us for years. We've built our life based on that support. You can't just pull the rug out. I didn't pull the rug out. I stopped volunteering to be walked on. Her face flushed red. Walked on? Is that what you think? You think I'm using you? I think you call when you need money. I think you visit when it's convenient. I think you forgot I existed until you needed something. That's not true. I love you, Dad. I've just been busy. Too busy to call on my birthday. Too busy to visit on the anniversary of your mother's death. Too busy to ask how I'm doing. I took a sip of coffee, but not too busy to text when the mortgage is due. She pulled out a chair, sat down hard. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. You're punishing me because I'm not Mom, because I can't fill the hole she left. That's what this is really about, isn't it? I set down my cup. This has nothing to do with your mother. It has everything to do with her. You're lonely and you're angry, and you're taking it out on me because I can't be there every day holding your hand through your grief. I never asked you to hold my hand. I asked you to visit once in a while, maybe stay for dinner, maybe call on a Sunday. That's not asking you to be your mother. That's asking you to be my daughter. I am your daughter. Then act like it. She stared at me, eyes shiny. I can't believe you're doing this. Doing what? Stopping the money? Or telling you the truth? Both. You're being manipulative and cruel and— Jennifer, I kept my voice level. When was the last time you asked how I was doing? Not as a greeting, not as a formality, but actually asked and waited for an answer. She opened her mouth, closed it, looked away. When was the last time you invited me to your house? Not for a holiday I had to share with 10 other people. Just dinner, just to spend time together. She didn't answer. When was the last time you said thank you? For the money? For the help? For anything? I say thank you. When? I texted you after you sent the mortgage payment last month. I said, thanks, you're a lifesaver. That's not thank you. That's acknowledging a transaction. She put her face in her hands, started crying. What do you want from me, Dad? Tell me what you want and I'll do it. I'll visit more, I'll call more, just don't cut me off, please. I felt something twist in my chest. She was my daughter, my only child. The baby I'd held in the hospital 34 years ago, the toddler I'd pushed on swings, the teenager I'd taught to drive, the bride I'd wanted to walk down the aisle. But she wasn't asking because she wanted to. She was asking because she needed the money. I don't want you to visit because I'm paying you to visit, I said quietly. I don't want you to call because you're afraid I'll close my checkbook. I want you to want to. I do want to. Then prove it. Visit me. Call me. Ask about my life. Be my daughter without my money attached to it. She wiped her eyes. And then you'll help us again? There it was. No, I said. What? I'm not helping anymore. Not with the mortgage, not with emergencies, not with anything. You're 34 years old. You have a husband. You have a house and jobs and a life. You can figure out your own bills. Dad, we can't afford the house without your help. You know that. Then sell the house. Get something smaller. Something you can actually afford. Are you kidding? We have equity in this house. We have roots. You're telling us to give that up because you're mad I didn't visit enough? I'm telling you to live within your means. Like adults. She stood up fast, chair scraped against the floor. You're unbelievable. I came here to apologize, to fix things, and you're being vindictive. I'm being clear. No, you're being selfish. Mom would be ashamed of you right now. The twist in my chest turned into something sharp. Don't. It's true. She'd be horrified that you're punishing me like this. She'd tell you to be the bigger person. She'd tell you family doesn't give up on each other. I stood up too. Your mother would be heartbroken that you forgot about me the moment she died. That you turned me into a bank account. That you didn't even ask me to walk you down the aisle at your wedding. Jennifer's face went white. Brad's father offered. I thought it would be nice for him. He doesn't have a daughter, and I don't have anyone else. Just you. She looked at me for a long time. Then she picked up her purse. I need to go. Drive safe. Dad, goodbye, Jennifer. She left. I heard her car start, heard gravel crunch as she drove away. I sat back down. Finished my coffee. Cold now. Didn't matter. That was 6 weeks ago. She called 4 times the first week. Texts saying we needed to talk. Saying she wanted to work things out. Saying she was sorry if she'd hurt my feelings, but I was overreacting. I didn't respond. The second week, Brad called. Left a voicemail. Said Jennifer was devastated. Said I was being unreasonable. Said they'd consulted a lawyer about whether they could sue me for cutting off financial support I'd been providing for years. I called George. He laughed. They can't sue you for not giving them money, Jim. That's not how it works. The third week, Jennifer posted on Facebook. I don't have Facebook, but my neighbor Barbara showed me on her phone. Long post, 6 paragraphs, about how I'd abandoned her after her mother died, about how I'd promised to help them build a life, and then cruelly cut off all support without warning. About how she was heartbroken that her father had chosen money over family. 312 likes. 147 comments. Most of them supportive. Lots of, I'm so sorry, and you deserve better, and some people are so selfish. A few people asked questions. Why did he stop helping? And what happened at the wedding? Jennifer didn't answer those. Barbara squeezed my shoulder while I read it. That's not the whole story, is it, Jim? No, I said. Want me to comment? Set the record straight? No, let her have her version. Doesn't change mine. The fourth week, Reverend Hayes called. Said Jennifer had come to see him. Said she was very upset. Said she felt I was punishing her. Asked if I wanted to talk about it. Not particularly, I said. Jim, I don't know the details, but I know you, and I know you're hurting. Whatever's happening between you and Jennifer, it's coming from a place of pain. It's coming from a place of clarity. Maybe both, he said gently. Would you consider family counseling? I can recommend someone. Might help you both. No, thank you. Jim, she knows where I live. She knows my number. If she wants to talk to me because she actually wants to talk to me, not because she wants money, she can call. Until then, I'm done. Hayes was quiet for a moment. I'll pray for you both. Appreciate it. The fifth week was quiet. No calls, no texts, no social media posts that I heard about. The sixth week, I got a letter from a law firm. Formal letter, legal letterhead. Said Jennifer and Brad were concerned about my mental competence. Said they'd received reports that I was behaving erratically. Said they were exploring options for ensuring my well-being. Translation: they were threatening to have me declared incompetent so they could take control of my finances. I called George. They can't do this, right? George read the letter. They can try. They won't succeed, but they can try. What do I need to do? Get a cognitive evaluation. Prove you're mentally competent. Then they have no case. I made an appointment with my doctor, Dr. Stevens. He's been my doctor for 22 years. He did a full evaluation, memory tests, cognitive function tests, mental health assessment, passed everything, perfect scores. Dr. Stevens wrote a letter, stated I was in full possession of my mental faculties, no signs of dementia, confusion, or impaired judgment, completely competent to make my own decisions. I sent a copy to the law firm, sent a copy to Jennifer and Brad, sent a copy to George to keep on file, got a response from the law firm 2 days later. They were withdrawing their inquiry, but wanted me to know they remained concerned. Got a text from Jennifer. I can't believe you think we're trying to steal from you. We were worried about you, that's all. I didn't respond. Another text an hour later. You've changed, Dad. You're not the person Mom married. You're bitter and angry, and you're pushing away everyone who loves you. I stared at that one for a long time. Then I typed back, you visited me 3 times in 2 years. You didn't ask me to walk you down the aisle. You called when you needed money and disappeared when you didn't. I'm not the one who changed. Sent it. Blocked her number. That was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, Reverend Hayes called again. Jim, Jennifer asked me to reach out. She wants to see you. She says she's willing to talk, really talk. No lawyers, no demands, just the 2 of you. Why? She didn't say, but she was crying when she asked me to call. Whatever's between you 2, it's eating her up. I thought about it. Where? Your house? Or neutral ground, if that's better. My house. This Saturday, noon. I'll let her know. He paused. Jim, I hope you 2 can find your way back to each other. Life's too short for this kind of divide. We'll see. Saturday came. I cleaned the house. Not for Jennifer, for me. Because that's what you do on Saturday mornings. Made coffee, set out Martha's good cups, the white ones with blue trim she'd picked out at an estate sale 20 years back. Noon arrived. Jennifer knocked. I opened the door. She looked tired, thinner, no makeup, hair pulled back in a ponytail. Dad? Jennifer? Can I come in? I stepped aside. She walked past me into the kitchen, looked at the table, at the 2 cups, at the coffee pot. Thanks for seeing me, she said. I poured coffee, handed her a cup. We both sat down. I've been doing a lot of thinking, she started, about what you said, about the money and the visits and everything. I waited. You're right, she said quietly. I wasn't visiting enough. I wasn't calling enough. I was treating you like an ATM. I didn't mean to, but that's what I was doing. I sipped my coffee. Didn't say anything. I miss Mom, she continued. Every day. And I think I've been avoiding you because being around you reminds me that she's gone. That's not fair to you. I know that. But it's the truth. Okay, I said. I should have asked you to walk me down the aisle. I wanted to. I really did. But Brad's father offered and I said yes without thinking. I didn't realize how much it would hurt you. I'm sorry. I nodded. Okay. And the money. You're right. We've been living beyond our means. We bought a house we can't really afford because I wanted something nice, something that felt like success. But we should have been more realistic. We're working on a budget now, cutting expenses. We're going to figure it out without your help. Good, I said. She looked at me. Is that all you're going to say? Okay and good? What do you want me to say? I don't know. That you forgive me? That we can fix this? I set down my cup, looked at her directly. You're apologizing because the money stopped. If I hadn't stopped, you'd still be calling, once a month asking for help and visiting once or twice a year. You wouldn't have done a lot of thinking about how you treated me. You'd still be doing it. That's not, it is. You're sorry you got caught, not sorry you did it. Her eyes filled with tears. That's not fair. It's true. So what? I can never make this right? You're just done with me? I didn't say that. Then what are you saying? I thought about it. About Martha. About the $78,000. About sitting in the back of the church behind a pillar. About watching my daughter dance with someone else's father. I'm saying you need to figure out who you want to be, I said. A daughter who shows up because she wants to. Or a daughter who shows up because she needs something. And I need to figure out if I can trust which one you choose. I want to be your daughter, really your daughter, not just when I need money. Then prove it. How? Show up. Not because I asked, not because you feel guilty, just because you want to see me. Call me on a random Tuesday, ask how I'm doing and actually listen to the answer. Remember my birthday. Visit me on the anniversary of your mother's death. Be present. I can do that. Maybe. Or maybe you'll do it for a few months and then slip back into old patterns. I don't know. That's what trust is. You build it over time. You can't demand it back after you broke it. She wiped her eyes. So we just, what? Start over? No. We start from here. Where we are. You prove you want to be in my life. And maybe eventually I believe you. And the money? Gone. Not coming back. You're an adult. You figure out your own finances. She nodded slowly. Okay. We sat there in silence, drinking coffee. The clock ticked on the wall, same clock that had been there for 28 years. I do love you, Dad, she said quietly. I know I haven't shown it, but I do. I love you too, Jennifer. That's why this hurts so much. She reached across the table, put her hand on mine. Can I visit you next weekend? Just to visit. No agenda. If you want to. I do. Then yes. She finished her coffee, stood up. I should go. Brad's waiting in the car. He can come in if he wants. No. This was between you and me. He's just being supportive. I walked her to the door. She hugged me. First time in 2 years that it felt real. I'll call you this week, she said. Just to talk. Okay. She got in her car. Brad was in the passenger seat. He looked at me through the windshield, nodded once. I nodded back. They drove away. I went back inside, washed the coffee cups, dried them, put them back in the cabinet. Don't know if Jennifer will really change. Don't know if she'll call this week or visit next weekend. Don't know if this was real or just another manipulation to try to get the money back eventually, but I meant what I said. She needs to prove it, and I need to see it over time. I'm not closing the door completely, but I'm also not opening my checkbook. She's my daughter. I love her. But love doesn't mean being used, and being a father doesn't mean funding a life I'm not actually part of. Martha would understand. She always said family is about showing up, not about what you can get, about what you give freely because you want to. Jennifer forgot that. Maybe she'll remember. Maybe she won't. Either way, I'm done being an ATM. I'm just going to be a father. And if she wants one, she knows where I am. If you like this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.